Okay, thank you. Welcome to Amud Meshicha. We are learning today a very, very major thing. It's the Gemara that discusses kinyanim. Is the Gemara over here in Daf Chaf He Amud Beis Kiddushin in the Mishnah. The Mishnah is one of the most major places in Shas where kinyanim are discussed. We're going to give this shiur double over according to Rashi and then according to the Ritva and Tosfos. I actually brought the Ritva and I'm going to read to you from inside the Ritva. Maybe tomorrow I'll send you sheets, maybe not, we'll see. Basically, before we start the Mishnah, we have to know that there are three types of kinyanim that I call them the physical kinyanim, meaning there are many kinyanim in the Torah, over 20 kinyanim, yeah? However, there are some kinyanim, for example, chalipin. When you do kinyan chalipin, you don't do anything physical to the animal or to the object that you buy. You don't lift it, you don't pick it up, you don't move it, you don't do anything. Yeah, chazak, shtar, kesef. These kinyanim don't actually touch the object in most cases. The three kinyanim we're about to discuss now, Be'ezras Hashem, the shields le'ilu nishmas of Imar Menachem and Akiva, into the tzlocha of our dear soldiers. Hashem should protect them and for the safety and quick return of the captives. And when we discuss kinyanim, especially kinyanim of animals, in this case, yeah, there are three major kinyanim that have to do with objects and animals. I'm going to explain, sometimes there's a difference. And that is, the kinyanim are, I would start here actually from the end, Hagbaha. Hagbaha means you pick up the object, animal or not, you pick up the object. Yeah, one tefach or three tefachim. Usually, Hagbaha refers to small. The understanding, the starting point is Hagbaha, and this is what the Ritva says, and it's much more also from the Gemara in Bava Basra involved. It says Hagbaha applies to small things. Yeah, when you want to buy a phone, you want to buy a marker, you want to buy a kipale. What do? You pick it up. Yeah, that's a normal thing. Hagbaha is the strongest kinyan. What do I mean by strongest? Everything I'm telling you now is very, very important to remember. Don't ask me again. Just listen now to what I'm saying, because this is the basis for the whole journey. Hagbaha is a kinyan that the Gemara says mefurash. There are different ways to explain it. In a place where Hagbaha applies and other kinyanim don't. In other words, let's say you have a small thing to buy, which is this little marker over here. I want to buy the marker from someone. Then Hagbaha would apply and Meshicha would not. Meshicha is the second best kinyan, as defined by the Ritva, and that is when you pull it. You pull it to your direction. You pull it to your temporary domain. Temporary domain is going to explain. Hagbaha is the one that applies to all small objects, and it wins over other kinyanim. Usually. In other words, if Hagbaha can apply to a small pen, so Meshicha and Mesirah would definitely not. Hagbaha also applies everywhere. Hagbaha applies inside someone else's house. If I want to be koine into my domain while I'm in your domain, and I want to buy your marker, Hagbaha would still apply. We saw it also in Bava Kama, by Ganev. If a Ganev comes to someone's house and he picks us up something, literally picks it up, yeah, then it's called koine, even though it's surrounded by other person's kinyan. Why? It says the Sma, the Persian Shulchan Aruch, known as the Kelim. He says because Hagbaha, it's in you, it's in your body, it's in your little pocket, as they say. That's why Hagbaha in general, and I'm being general now, is the best one. Second is Meshicha. Meshicha applies to bigger things, such as the understanding up until I saw this Mishnah. Yeah, I mean, saw this Mishnah many years ago. I'm saying before we see this Mishnah, Meshicha we see many times applies to animals. Meshicha applies to big animals. Yeah, it's not normal to be magbia, let's say a cow, right? It's not normal, even if you're able to. I'm very jealous of your big biceps. But if you don't pick up a cow, it's not so normal. Meshicha applies. Where does Meshicha apply? Where does it apply? Meshicha applies not in the street, and it does not apply in another person's house. In other words, if I'm in the middle of your dining room, let's say I'm in the middle of your farm, and I want to be koine your cow, and it's your farm, every centimeter there is yours, then this farm, I cannot be koine your cow in your farm into me. Why? Because Meshicha means it's coming to my place, but I don't have my place in your farm. I'm not part of your farm. And therefore, and neither in the street. In the Rishus Harabim, in the Biz Rishus Harabim, people don't have their own place. By the way, this is all in Bava Basra from Ein Hey till Pei Vov, what I'm telling you. We've seen it many years ago. And now, where does Meshicha apply? it either applies in a simta or chotzer shishel shneim. In other words, simta means a quiet street. In a quiet street, when I can sit down and relax, and the street is now borrowed for me, kilu rented by me, such a place Meshicha applies, okay? And I can be koine there. That's one of the places. Mesirah, what's Mesirah? So Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos, what's Mesirah? Mesirah basically means, according to Rashi, it's less than Meshicha. In other words, it's even bigger things. For example, a boat. If you want to be koine a boat and you can't do Meshicha to the boat, you want to carry a what? An aircraft carrier. Aircraft carrier. Is that easy to pull? Maybe for you. I don't know. You're in the army. I don't think I can pull physically the aircraft carrier. No, you can't. No, I don't think so either. So what do? You do Mesirah. Mesirah is something more, I would say, symbolic. Mesirah is when, according to Rashi, you hand over the big animal. You hand over its reins or the bell on the neck or the mane on the hair. Yeah, you do something like that. According to Tosfos and Ritva, you don't give over, but the buyer just holds it. It's also machlokes, and I do have a chart for that, but I did not bring it on purpose because I don't want to spoon feed you. So this was a very short overview of Hagbaha, Meshicha, and Mesirah. Okay. When we know that, now we can start the Mishnah. Be'ezras Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. We're going to read the Mishnah according to Rashi, and then I'm going to, either today or tomorrow, we're going to read the Ritva inside. Beautiful, unbelievable Ritva. Ritva is more like some of Bala Tosfos. By the way, Tosfos has no opinion here because Bala Tosfos themselves argue between themselves, yeah, if to follow Rashi or the Ritva, although they don't mention the Ritva. Says the Mishnah. Be'ema gasa niknes be'Mesirah be'hadaka be'Hagbaha diva Rabbi Meir v'Blezer. Says Rabbi Meir and says Rabbi Lezer. Be'ema gasa niknes be'Mesirah. Be'ema gasa is acquired through Mesirah, and the daka with Hagbaha. Be'ema gasa is a big animal. We will read Rashi inside today. What fun! Rashi niknes be'Mesirah. Ba'aleh moiser l'lokech be'afsa or be'seora. The Bailam hands her over to the buyer, the seller to the buyer, with the muzzle or with the hair of the animal. Meshicha does not work for Be'ema Gasa according to Rabbi Meir. Let's go. Woohoo! Says Rabbi Meir. Gasa, Mesirah, yes. Be'ema Gasa, it's normal. According to Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Lozo, we care about what's called normal. What's called normal? How do you normally behave towards an animal as an owner? Normally, yeah, you don't pull a big animal. It's not considered something normal. A big animal, a horse, a cow, a mule, those things, a Be'ema Gasa, yeah, I'm sorry, these are not really nice, those markers. So basically, a Be'ema Gasa, yeah, is nikna be Mesirah, yeah, because that's normal to hand it over. You pull the horse, you know, you don't pull it, you hold it by the muzzle. But Meshicha, says Rashi, Meshicha is not normal. In other words, for an animal, continues Rashi, then a big animal, you don't make it walk in front of you. Meshicha, you have to remember, it's not only when you pull it, it's also when you call it. Yeah? In other words, the small animals, you call them when they come, you pull them along. A big animal, it's less normal to pull it. It's more normal to hold it. And therefore, holding is normal and is a kinyan, and so is Meshicha. Needless to say, yeah, although Rashi doesn't say it, but clearly comes out, that Hagbaha is not normal for a big animal. Hagbaha is not normal. You can make your own charts if you want to. I'm sorry, the printing fiasco, it's my fault. In any way, yeah, Mesirah, Be'ema Gasa works for Mesirah. Yeah, Meshicha, says Rashi, no. And Kol Sheken Hagbaha is not. What about Be'ema Daka? Says the Gemara, Be'Hagbaha. Be'ema Daka, a small animal, a little lamb. Then a little lamb is normal to pick up. I did it once myself. I have a photo of me holding a sheep, yeah? So you definitely can quite easily pick up a small animal. Oh, according to what I told you, so we know Be'ema Daka, according to Rabbi Meir's Hagbaha. What about Meshicha and Mesirah? According to the Gemara and Bava Basra, which are quoted, l'choyer not, right? Because if Hagbaha works for the small animal, then Meshicha and Mesirah don't. Yeah, we don't all have to agree to that, but if he says Hagbaha, mistom, it's exclusive. That's why I gave you the Akdama. I wanted you to realize Hagbaha, Meshicha, and Mesirah are not just, three words in Greek or Chinese. Yeah, it's like Hagbaha, when it can apply, it's usually exclusive and pushes away other ones. That's definitely the general understanding. I'm saying I'm writing with quite confidence that these are not working according to Rabbi Meir. Yeah, okay. So far, so good. That's Rabbi Meir. So according to Rabbi Meir, Be'ema Gasa only Mesirah. and Hagbaha is the one for the small animal. Says Rabbi Meir goes according to what's normal. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Lozo. The Chachamim oimrim. Now Chachamim say be'madaka niknes Meshicha. Excuse me. Rashi says Hagbaha v'lo Meshicha. Sorry, I made a mistake. Rashi does say it. Rashi says it mefurash. Sorry. I saw so much stuff already. I'm getting all muddled up. Rashi says mefurash. Hagbaha v'lo Meshicha. It is a mefurash Rashi. Hagbaha v'lo Meshicha. Rashi just does the work for us in case we haven't seen the other sugya. But Rashi wants to spoil us and tell us clearly, according to Rabbi Meir, behema daka, the daka, the small animal, shall I write? This is big and this is small. Okay, this is big and this is small. Okay, sorry, this is large and this is small. Okay, so fine. Kol shekin Mesirah would not apply to behema daka. Behema daka, I don't think they even have those things, the shlif and all that doesn't apply. That is Rabbi Meir. I'm trying to adjust myself. That's Rabbi Meir. The Chachamim oimrim, Chachamim say, be'madaka niknes b'meshicha. Chachamim say, be'madaka is nikne b'meshicha. This is only half the information. We'll see more later. But what does Chachamim say? According to Chachamim, be'madaka may be acquired also with Meshicha. Not only, what do they say about Hagbaha, you think? Kol sheken. Oh, we're happy. Oh, good. The Gemara in Bava Basra asks the question, how come? I thought Hagbaha is exclusive. So how are you telling me that you can have Hagbaha and Meshicha? How did second-class Meshicha made it to the top club of Hagbaha? Remember, Hagbaha Gavoa, Gaiva, the exclusive one. Answers the Gemara that when it comes to objects like a phone or a pen or whatever, only Hagbaha works and not Meshicha. Why? Because it's very easy to be Magbiya, the phone or the pen. Masha'enken, an animal, Misirah. An animal tends to stick its legs in the ground. Ever tried to pick up a cat? They're never happy about it. They're usually not. They don't like to be picked. You see starts, this, and when you're scared of the nails. In other words, the idea is because small animals are not so keen on being picked up, therefore we say, okay, Meshicha is also an option. So let's fill in according to Chachamim. What do we know about Chachamim? There's still a lot missing, which we'll see in the Gemara. But one thing Chachamim said about behema daka, the small one, this is large and small. The small animal according to Chachamim, clearly Hagbaha would work, but also Meshicha. What about Mesirah? No, they didn't say that works. They said Meshicha, right? So I know that Meshicha does work. Okay, as kol sheken Hagbaha. What about the behema gasa? So according to Rashi, behema gasa, right, is nikne be Mesirah. They never argued on that, right? I don't see them saying anything about that. I'm on purpose leaving this open, right? But all we know from the Mishnah is that behema daka, this is very nice. I like how it's happening stage by stage. For me, it's good, and hopefully for you too. The behema daka is nikne bagbo bekoshken meshicha, behema gasa b'mesirah. Also b'meshicha, we don't know. They didn't say anything about it, right? But meshicha is less than Mesirah. We're in Rashi now. According to Rashi, Mesirah is better than Meshicha. Why? Because Meshicha for a large animal is not so normal. Behema gasa is not normally pulled by the walking in front of the person. Okay, so far so good, so much the Mishnah, and now it's time from the Gemara. Only questions that are about what I said. Questions of if would be, what would be if, and development of what I said are, I'm sorry, not welcome now. Questions if you didn't understand something I said are welcome. I'm sorry to be so clear and strict. Yes, with having said that, I want to hear you. Yeah. That's a good, I don't know. We have enough on our plate. It's a good question. A baby behema. In other words, it's a cow, but it's a day-old cow. So Lamaisa can pick it up easily. Does it have the din of behema daka or does it have the din of behema gasa? It's like tough. Very good question. I didn't see anything about it in the Rishonim here or in the Shulchan Aruch that I saw, but it's a very good question. I don't know. But let's first deal with what we have. Yes, right. So l'chora, the baby cow should be the same as behema daka. Could be. Could very well be. No, it's a very nice possible idea. Before we continue, I forgot to say, Mesirah works where Meshicha doesn't. For example, let's say you're in a busy street or a busy river, and you want to buy a boat, a big boat, or you are in the busy street and you would buy something that's big. You can't do Hagbaha. You can't be Magbiya the animal in the middle of the street because your name is not Arnold, or Mike. You can't pick it up. Now, what about Meshicha? Meshicha will not work in the busy street because the busy street is so busy, nobody has their own place. Ever been to Manhattan in your lives? I was there once. Yeah, it's like a sea of people. There's nobody has his own place, right? But She'enken, Mesirah would work. Mesirah works in a place where, what? Mesirah would work even in a place where it's a busy place because the person is holding the animal. He's holding it, showing ownership, okay, which is not Meshicha, which means I'm pulling it towards where I am. That's how it works. On the other hand, Mesirah is not so simple, would work in a simple. Okay, leave it for now. That's okay. Says the Gemara, Dorosh Rav beKimchunaya. We're still following Rashi now. The Rav made a drosha in the city of Kimchunaya. Be'ema gasa niknes b'meshicha. Here he says be'ema gasa is niknes b'meshicha. Well, that doesn't work right with Rabbi Meir, and even according to Chachamim, I don't know if be'ema gasa is niknes b'meshicha either. It's a question mark, right? I'm asking you now, according to the chart you have now in your minds and in your eyes, be'ema gasa with meshicha. Rabbi Meir says no, and Chachamim not sure. Well, probably not. They didn't argue on that, right? So it says Rav, interestingly, Be'magasa is nikne b'meshicha, which up until now we saw is second class, is not the good thing. Rashi said it's not normal. Ashkichinu Shmuel Talmidei de Rav. Shmuel found the Talmidim of Rav. Omar Lu, he told them, Mi Omar Rav Be'magasa niknes b'meshicha. Is it true what I heard that Rav said Be'magasa can be acquired with Meshicha? V'anan b'mesiratnan. We learned, according to Rabbi Meir, that it's nikne by Mesirah only Mesirah, and Chachamim, they didn't seem to argue on that, right? So L'choira, how can Rav go against the Mishnah? That's question number one. And the other question, on the same direction very much, on the same wavelength, the Rav Nami b'Mesirah Omar. Rav also said many times in his history, Rav is known to say that Be'magasa is nikne Mesirah, and not, meaning not Meshicha. That's a question. Continues the Gemara in a form of question, Hodar Be'me'ahi. Sometimes the word Hodar Be'me'ahi are an answer. He regretted what he said, he changed his mind. Amoraim do change their minds. But here it's a question. Hodar Be'me'ahi. Rashi says, yeah, it's a bitmia, it's a question. Yeah, Adha Shmuel Komer Lo. Shmuel keeps asking and asking, how can Rav tell me all of a sudden in the drasha, Be'magas is B'Meshicha? Well, up until now, he was loyal to the Mishnah that said only Mesirah. What's going on over here? Answers the Gemara, here comes the Braisa. The Braisa fills in what we didn't know. Hud Omar Ki Haitana. Rav follows the following opinion. It says what the Tanya? It says as follows. The Chachamim Oimrim Zu v'Zu Niknes b'Meshicha. Chachamim say both this and that Nikne b'Meshicha. What's this and that? Gasa and Daka. Both Daka, just like Daka is b'Meshicha, as Chachamim said in the Mishnah. Bupa, wow. Also, Meshicha works for Behema Gasa. And that's Rav. Rav followed Chachamim. Rav followed Chachamim. Yeah, he is also with Chachamim. And he holds the Behema Gasa Niknes also b'Meshicha. And that's Rav like them. Okay, very good. What about the Hagbaha? L'choira not. I would say in the Bar L'chidushay. Right? The Chiddush is Behema Gasa, it's normal to be koine with Mesirah and Meshicha also. In other words, Chachamim, from some reason, did not really care about the fact that it's not so normal to pull the animal, or maybe they thought it is normal to be moshech the big animal. So Mimela Chachamim said the big animal and the small animal, Meshicha works everywhere. Well, he believes, Rabbi Meir says Meshicha works nowhere for animals. It doesn't mean Rabbi Meir would not say Meshicha works for a boat. It does work for a boat in a simta. That's mufurish, yeah. But when it comes to animals, which have their own nature, as we'll see in the Ritva, maybe the pool and they do different things. Lamaisa, according to Rabbi Meir, Meshicha doesn't work, and according to Chachamim, it always works. Now, what would Chachamim say when it comes to Mesirah by the large animal? According to Chachamim, Meshicha works. According to Rashi, which is better, Mesirah or Meshicha for a large animal? Which is more normal to do? Mesirah. Mesirah is more normal according to Rashi. Yes, very good. And therefore, if Chachamim say Meshicha, Kol Sheken Mesirah. So here's your chart. Yeah, so far so good. In other words, according to Chachamim, yeah, they say that for large animal Meshicha, the Kol Sheken Mesirah would work. Yeah, and it also applies to the small animal. Now, Mesirah for the small animal, actually, I'm not sure. Mesirah for the small animal is not so clear to me. I don't know if there is Mesirah by small animal. That's what for now, according to Rashi, by me it's a question mark, because I don't know if Mesirah applies to small animals. Maybe only Meshicha and Hagbaha. I don't know if there's the form of Mesirah. There's nothing clearly written about this regarding Rashi, maybe another Rishonim, which I haven't yet seen. I'm humbly leaving this, for me, it's a question mark, actually. Yeah, because just because Be'ema Gasa, Mesirah is very, very normal by it, and even Meshicha, even number two, even class B, Meshicha also works for the big animal. But for the small animal, Hagbaha is the best one, and I would say also Meshicha Befurish, Zuva Meshicha. But for the small one, for Mesirah, not so clear. I am unclear. I hereby admit in front of everyone, I do not yet know what's Mesirah for. I have a feeling that it doesn't work. That's my strong feeling, but basic nicht, I'm not sure 100%. 1 second, please. Here comes, I'll hear you soon. Let's just finish the brisa. Continues the brisa, opinion number 3. That's the easiest one. Rabbi Shimon Omer Zu v'Zu b'Hagbaha. Rabbi Shimon says both of them are nikne b'Hagbaha. Does it mean only Hagbaha or also Hagbaha? Well, first of all, Be'ema Daka, according to Rabbi Shimon, the small and the large, yeah? Sounds like a clothes store. According to Rabbi Shimon, the small animal b'Hagbaha, and clearly not the other ones, because when Hagbaha works for a small item, yeah, if he would say both Hagbaha and Meshicha would be the same as Chachomim, there wouldn't be a difference. He clearly says only Hagbaha. We also see it later in the Gemara. Only Hagbaha, and even the big Kiddush is, and we're going to see soon in the Gemara, even for a large animal, only Hagbaha and not the other ones. Wow. He believes the Be'ema Gasa only Nikne b'Hagbaha. The other ones are treif, they don't work. According to Rabbi Shimon, is the easiest to not necessarily to understand, but to locate. The pshat of Rabbi Shimon is clear. You have only Hagbaha only. Rabbi Shimon is a very big stickler to the idea of Hagbaha. As we said from the beginning, Hagbaha is the queen of kinyanim, and nobody else should interfere in the royal palace of the snobbish Miss Hagbaha. Only Hagbaha there alone in the concept of kinyanim. Of course, there could be Meshicha and Mesirah maybe for other items. I don't even know. Well, Meshicha clearly works. Meshicha works for no. What I'm talking. Meshicha for sure works for heavy objects. The Gemara says Mefurish in Shabbos after the Aleph on the base in the bottom for sure. At least that I remember that you take a large bag of money and you moishech it on Shabbos from the house to the street. Yeah, on Shabbos there's an issue of Shabbos and an issue of Gzela. You're stealing on Shabbos. So there it talks about Meshicha. Of course, Meshicha applies. And Mesirah also applies to boats. Comes to animals, he believes only Hagbaha. Rabbi Shimon says Hagbaha is it when it comes to animals, since behemoths can be mugba, therefore it works for them only. And everyone's asking now, the only thing for behemah gasa is Hagbaha? I don't know, can you lift a cow? I'm sure you can, but I can't. What can I say? I'm sitting in koil the whole day long, in front of the computer. So I don't know how to be magbiya be a cow. That's going to be the next question, how to be magbiya an elephant. And that is it for Rashi. Our chart is almost filled, and our minds, I hope, are clearer. Questions for now? Yes, you are going. Yeah, you happy with things? Okay.
According to what you've just said.
Finishing off business. Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef is now attacking the last opinion, which is Rabbi Shimon. Elamata, according to what you're telling me now, you're bringing me this interesting brisa. A pil, yeah, an elephant. Rabbi Shimon, b'ma'ikne. How do you acquire an elephant if you want to acquire an elephant? Because according to Rabbi Shimon, clearly, now we see clearly, Rabbi Shimon says Hagbaha, he meant Hagbaha only, and not Meshicha and not Mesirah. To be moiser, an elephant is very easy. It could be a very weak person. The elephant has some kind of I don't know, accessory. I don't know, they have, in the circus something on the head, you pick it up, you take it, you hold it. So that's very good. But Rabbi Shimon doesn't believe in that. Rabbi Shimon says you need to be a magbiya. Maybe a cow, you can be magbiya together with your wife or with your friend. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Mashain can to be magbiya an elephant is kind of hard. So according to Rabbi Shimon, how do you acquire an elephant? And how would they have a circus without an elephant? You tell me. What kind of circus is it? Yeah, it's a circus, yeah. Abai says, yeah. We have to move out of the world of what I call physical kinyanim into the world of non-physical kinyanim. Meaning, what's chalipin? Anybody? Chalipin is a kinyan exchange, which is a symbolic exchange. In other words, if I want to become your elephant, yeah, I'll give you my little cutesy kosher phone, yeah, as not Mesirah as we know Mesirah, I'll hand you over my phone. You take the phone. You do Hagbaha, Mesirah. Doesn't matter. You take my phone one way or the other. That's another shaila. And then the elephant is automatically mine without touching it. Wi-Fi kinyan. And by the way, the Ritva says, and others say that stam kinyan, whenever we talk about kinyanim, it's kinyan chlipin. Chlipin is one of the only kinyanim, not the only one. It's one of the kinyanim that works for everything. It works for both metaltalin and karkois. It works for both nadlan and regular stuff. So chlipin and chinami, there is no way to buy an elephant except for a chlipin. Live with it. Okay, don't pick it up. Go to the gym. Inami, another alternative kinyan. The soicher es mekoimoy. Oh, the soicher es mekoimoy. What soicher es mekoimoy? I would say kinyan chotzer. Yeah, let's say I don't want to pull the elephant. It won't help to pull it, right? Kinyan Meshicha. But I will tell the balabais, you, Mr. Cohen, who wants to sell me your nice big elephant, right? You please rent me, I will rent your room for you for money. Now the room is mine. The elephant is now in the room, which belongs to me. So it's a kinyan chotzer. It's a temporary kinyan chotzer. It works, yeah, with heavy stuff. We see it in Bava Basra with a big cart, I think, of peiros, of fruit and wheat. It works that way. I'm renting the place. Now it's my place. Kinyan chotzer. Rabbi Zera says a similar, it's not exactly chotzer, but similar. Rabbi Zera gives us a third solution. Maybe arba o kelim, umanicha tachas raglov. You bring 4 kelim, hopefully large kelim, large receptacles that are large enough, each one the size of an elephant's foot, and you put them under his feet. That, I guess, the Indian elephant trainer can tell the elephant, like they play the tricks, to step into those 4 kelim. So I have, let's say, 4, big pots, and the elephant puts its legs into this pot, and this is what similar to its me'ein kinyan chotzer. It's called kelev shel kohen. It's my kelim. The kelim really belong to me. It's not a shtick. Those 4, these are the big cholent pots. Will your wife ever cook cholent in something that the elephant's foot was inside? I doubt it. Yeah, but yeah, you put the feet of the elephant. You make sure that he steps into your 4 kelim. So even if you don't rent out his place because you don't want to, or maybe it's in no man's land, as we're going to see, you put it under his feet and it's yours. It's like me'ein chotzer. Shmas mino. From here we can hear. If that's what you're telling me, I can derive from here, from your solution of my kelim inside the seller's domain, kelev shelokeach birshus moicher kono lokeach. It's a debate in Bava Basra. Here we see a halacha. The kelev shelokeach, the kelim, the utensils, the receptacles of the buyer, if they are inside the domain of the moicher, it works for the lokeach. In other words, one would argue and say, if this is your house, Cohen is the seller, Levi is the buyer. Okay, Cohen owns an elephant. Levi, how much does an elephant cost? I don't know. The one you bought yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't know. Yeah, when you buy an elephant, I don't know how much it costs. You what? So then you pay for the elephant, but now you have to do the kinyan, right? How do you do the kinyan? You go to Cohen, the elephant merchant, and what do? It's his house, his shop, his thing. You bring your kelim, large kelim, and the elephant steps into them. Wait. It's your kelim inside his house. There's a question in Bava Basra whether that works or not. In other words, if it's mamish my chotzer, of course it works. When I say my, I mean the buyer. If it's Levi, the buyer, very good. If it's mamish the chotzer, Masha'enken, if we're talking about his kelim of the buyer inside the domain of the seller, it's not so simple. You can create your own autonomy, your own thing, really inside his chotzer. Maybe his chotzer overrides and swallows your kelim, and maybe it doesn't work. And here we see that it works. And the problem here is that the Gemara in Bava Basra never brought this case as a proof. If this is really so true, that the only way to buy an elephant, according to you, according to the second answer of Reb Zera, if you tell me that's the way to buy it, why did Gemara Bava Basra ignore it? When we had the real discussion, why didn't we talk about it? Answers the Gemara, who told you, answers the Gemara, that it's in the house of the seller? How do you know? It's in a simta. Simta, by the way, is the place which I mentioned before. What's a simta? Look at Rashi. It's a quiet corner, quiet little street. Also in modern Hebrew, simta is like an alley, a lane, a small place. Yeah, simta. The simta Rashi is zovis she'etzel reshus harabim, ve'en lo reshus harabim ve'lo reshus hayachid. It's a corner near reshus harabim, which is not reshus harabim because you don't have the flow of people there. But it's not a domain, not a private domain either. That's a simta. Oh, so in a simta, the kelim can be koine. And chinami, the kelim to be koine inside the seller's house, We don't know. It remained a questionable about so machlokes. But if it's in a quiet place, then it works. Again, the concept of simta is it's a bit like a park. I told you many times in other in Bavas, in Bavakam, but all over. Yeah, if you sit in the park, you know, you and your wife, Baruch Hashem, enjoying the grandchildren, yeah, in park alone. Yeah, you're sitting on the bench. Even the rudest local can't really, unless it's really out of it, yeah, can't come to you and demand, get up, it's mine. Obviously not. It's true that the bench belongs to everybody, right? But what does everybody mean? I sit with my wife for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then I get up and you get, and then you sit there with your wife 20 minutes, half an hour, right? That's where it goes. That is Simta. Simta is a place for public use, but not everyone together. So Simta is such a quiet place where I can bring my kelim, you bring your elephant, and for now, my kelim will play the role of the owner of the place, mitzad kelim, not the whole Simta. The kelim and the kelim there, no other ishus overrides my kelim because the Simta does belong to other people. Right now, it's mine to play big boss. That's the Simta, and here comes the biggest fun. Ooh, inami bechavile zmoirois. Oh, or with chavile zmoirois. Says Rashi, inami mashgachas laagbo etzel pil. You can, yes, be magbi an elephant. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be Mr. Universe. You can be koine the pil by picking it up. How? Bechavile zmoirois, says Rashi, agvoy minot shloshet fochim. You can create a ramp. Create a ramp from chavile zmoiros, meaning bundles of zmora, of branches, bundles of branches. Create a ramp. If you create a ramp, yeah, molichin aleim. Hagbaha shloshet tfachim agboy denafkel mitoros lovud, says Rashi. Once it's 3 tfachim above the ground, create a ramp. According to Rashi, chavile zmoros is lav dafka. You can make it out of concrete. You can make it out of like a boardwalk, as long as it's diagonal and it's like, you know, the elephant's walking up and up. As long as the elephant is walking up, and they know how to walk up very nicely, right? The elephant walks up, and I'm the one who's magbiet and pulling it with I don't know, I'm causing it to walk. Hey, elephant, get up there. And now the elephant goes up 3 tfachim on the ramp, mazel tov. That's a way of Hagbaha, and therefore, according to Reb Shimon, yes, an elephant b'mnikim b'Hagbaha. Interesting. By the way, that's the 3rd time Tosas argues with Rashi. We'll discuss that in Tosas Ritva area. Yeah, the Rashi believes that's Zmoros. Tosas says Chavila Zmoros means something completely different. Ad kan hakofa aleph. This was Shitas Rashi in the Sugya. We're going now to revisit the Sugya after I will read to you the Ritva inside. I'm going to read the Ritva inside, and Blineder, maybe I'll send it to you by email later. The text questions are welcome right now. Yes. No, there is yeah. Thank you. Before we continue, just to finish off Rashi's idea, why does the Hagbaha have to be 3 tfachim from the ground? Because we know b'chol Torah kula, and that's halacham shemesinai. Halacham shemesinai, mefurash, chatzitzin, mechitzin, no, shiur chatzitzin, mechitzin, halacham shemesinai. The Gemara beginning of Sukkah, beginning of Eruvin and Brachas. The Gemara says in many places, lovud, the idea that which we all experience in Sukkot, yeah, the idea that less than 3 tfachim is still connected to wherever it is. Right, in Sukkah, true, you always go and you check if you have less than 3 tfachim between one wall and the other, parts of the wall in the Sukkah, the schach, that's lovud. Lovud means as long as you have less than 3 tfachim space, halacha particularly purposefully ignores that space as if it's all connected. You have the same idea from the ground. Yeah, I'm now chazering Shabbos, beginning of Mesechus Shabbos, 3 tfachim from the ground is still called Rishus HaYochid. Yeah, regarding, still called Rishus HaYochid, not, let's say, Carmelis, whatever, 3 tfachim, up to 3 tfachim. 3 to 10 is not exactly, no, the other way around. I'll talk about Hilchos Shabbos, it's another point, yeah, but that's up to 3, it's mamish part of the ground. It's mamish part of the ground, regardless to if it's less than 4, more than 4. Why? There's more to be said. Okay. Now let's more questions and comments. The Ritva and some of the Balatoises strongly disagree with Rashi, and they say when Rashi said that according to Rabbi Meir, Mesirah and not in Meshicha, they're really upset with Rashi. They bring proofs from other places. I will send you the Ritva. You can look at it, in your own time. They say no way. There are clear sources that Meshicha does work for Beima Gasa, for horse, for things begin Bav Metzia. We saw a Mishnah Bav Metzia person riding on the animal. it's like Meshicha, and it does work. Of course, Rashi has his answers. We're not getting there. They clearly say the other way around. They say no, no, no. Says the Ritva, Hagbaha is number one. Hagbaha always works according to everybody. The Ritva says Hagbaha is it, no way, no other way. And Meshicha does, so does Meshicha according to the Ritva. When Rabbi Meir said Mesirah, he meant not only Mesirah, but even Mesirah. Even Mesirah. Right? Although Mesirah is, and he has very clear hierarchy. The Ritva is very clear, as we're going to see his beautiful word soon. Hagbaha is the best, Meshicha second best, Mesirah is okay. And therefore he says Mesirah works according, even Mesirah says Rabbi Meir works, although when it comes to the small animal, then he agrees that it's only Hagbaha and not the other ones. Why? Because the Hagbaha is something that definitely is suitable for a small animal, and the other ones are not. It's less common to be Moshe or Moiser. Hagbaha works for Hashenken, but Rabbi Meir said even Mesirah, which is the lowest one of the three, needless to say, this is 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. Are you willing to be in a 3 stars hotel? Even in a 3 stars hotel, but for the same money, Avada prefer more because he believes that Meshicha, Loikedarka, says Rita, who cares? Rita is koifer in the whole idea. Says I don't care about what's normal. That's not what works. It's not it doesn't go according to what's normal. So even if you write Rashi, the Meshicha is not normal, but big animals, I don't care about that. Says the Ritva. Now, when Chachomim argued, what did they argue? And they said clearly Meshicha and Hagbaha work, right? And Chachomim say that only Meshicha works and not Mesirah. When Chachomim said Meshicha, they said Meshicha works, only the better one of the two. Mesirah doesn't. That's Chachomim. Needless to say, the Mesirah doesn't work here. That's B'chlal Bli Kesher, yeah? Meshenke and Meshicha for this, before Shuson the Braisa, Meshicha works for both. That's before Shabraisa. Says say Chachomim Zu v'Zu Meshicha. So this is a chart according to the Ritva. Spot the differences. Yeah, we'll see it in the chart and you see it now. According to Chachomim, Meshicha is, according to everyone, Meshicha is better. Rabbi Meir suggests even Mesirah for Agasa would also works, and soon we're going to see how it works very nicely in the domains. And Chachamim say no, Mesirah doesn't, only Meshicha. That's in short. Now I want to read to you in the Ritva how he applies it, and he explains also the reason why. Says the Ritva, the Shloisha kinyanim hen. There are 3 types of kinyanim in the Torah, which are called the physical kinyanim. Gdolo shebekulam, the Godol shebekulam, you know Godol. Hagbaha shekoin b'chol mokoim. Don't forget, Hagbaha, it works everywhere. Outer space, inside Gaza. Hagbaha is going even inside the reshus of who? Of the owner, of the previous owner, of the seller. Hagbaha works everywhere. Which means if something can be nikne b'Hagbaha or b'Meshicha, if Hagbaha is possible, it pushes away everybody else. Yeah. In other words, if let's say this thing, I can pick it up and I can pull it. I can pull it out of the house, right? But since Hagbaha can work, Hagbaha outdoes everybody else, says the Ritva. I'm skipping a bit about Shtar. And then, okay. Oh, Ritva says Hagbaha is it. Hagbaha, nothing cannot be nikne b'Hagbaha. So according to the Ritva, look at that. Hagbaha works for everything, elephants included. Hagbaha just works, and I don't care about normal. I don't care about your gym training. Ritva, by the way, says something interesting later on that the kinyanim are not up to people. We'll see it later. A big Kiddush, he says that if a certain kinyan doesn't work, then it doesn't work b'chlal. We'll discuss it later. The kinyan hasheni, kinyan number 2, says the Ritva, who Meshicha. Meshicha is second best. Who does Meshicha work for? He works in that private area, the side street, the park, or in a chotzer, in a domain that belongs to both the koine and the moicher. If something belongs, let's say we're partners, you and I are partners in a cheder madragot. Your neighbor, you want to buy something from your neighbor, okay? And the cheder madragot belongs to the two of you. It can be koine b'Meshicha because I have my place in the cheder madragot. I'm an owner in the cheder madragot more than in the middle of a busy street. But he's not coin in a busy street or in a place that doesn't belong to him at all. Why? As I told you, Meshicha means bringing it to my area. There is no my area in a busy place. Economy dvorim beinunim. Who does Meshicha apply to? Who are or what are the items that Meshicha should be nikne? Not small ones. The small ones, even a weak guy can pick up. So, what kind of items should be nikne b'Meshicha? Dvorim beinunim. Things that are middle of the road, that are not as heavy as an elephant, but not as light as the marker. Shein dalken lagbia. It's not normal to pick them up. Be'emagasa. It's not normal to pick it up, right? You can pull them. Kalim. Something is light, yeah, if something is so light, such as the pen, only Hagbaha would work and not Meshicha. Then kinyan a shofel gomer b'mokam shetikin kinyan elu mimeno. The lower kinyan does work in the place of the higher one, but the higher in the smaller one. Third, kinyan number 3. These are all very strong yesodis. You should know for the entire life, the whole of Shas. All this can help us for Bava Basra, yeah, Bava Metzia. Third, kinyan shlishi, number 3. The lowest one, yeah, the lowest rung in the letter, Mesirah. Where does Mesirah work, Ellen? You know where Mesirah would work? Not on who, but where? In the places where Meshicha doesn't work. Let's say I have a big animal. I can't pick it up. Sorry, yeah, I'm in Koil the whole day. I can't pick up big cows, yeah, okay. Now, the big cow, I want to be coin it in the middle of the street. I can't be coin it in the middle of the street. Why? Because Meshicha doesn't work. So what do? How will I be coin a cow in the middle of the street? I'm going to have a cow, be having a cow. Oh, very nice. Either I'll move it to a simta. Very. That's actually, Yosef, you're up to something very good. Later on, the ritual said that's gufa machlokes tanoim here. I'm impressed. Yosef, a note to your wife. Either a simta, I'll pull it all the way to the simta. It may be a long way though. Or Mesirah. Because Mesirah does work in the busy street. Mesirah is in the busy street. Mesirah is not pulling into my place. Mesirah is holding it like a big bus, like Baal Habais. Says, although what he said is also correct. In a busy street, when a chotzer that does belong to any of us, I don't have my place there. I can't be pulled into my place. There is no my place. So what do? Mesirah. Chachamim want you to be able to be koine everywhere. There's no Meshicha, so there's Mesirah is the second best. And that's the lowest of all of them. Okay? And it doesn't work for everything. Oh, in other words, yeah, Mesirah works for very large things. We're going to see here machloikas, yeah? But Mesirah works for real big stuff, a boat, a really big animal, right? That even Meshicha could be an issue, but or in the end, in the place where Meshicha doesn't work. We're going to see, right? Mesirah, according to Ray, works for Beimagasa, according to Chachamim, it doesn't, and Meshicha works according to both. Meshicha according to him and also Chachamim. Now, I'm skipping a little bit. Yeah. Oh, listen to this. What is really the core of the machloikis according to the Ritva? What's behind all these X's and ticks? Yeah, well, what's behind it? Why is it that Rabbi Meir believes Beimagasa can be nicknamed Mesirah and Chachamim say it can? Why? Why really? We know the general rule. We know that Meshicha can be koine not everywhere, but it's better. If you can't be koine by Meshicha, if you can make it to the small street, use Meshicha. You can make it to the Mokum Shel Shneim, use Meshicha. Fine. Now, Mesirah, though, does work for a boat. Let's say we coin a boat in the middle of a big river. Yeah, that's very shaykh. Okay, how you coin it? But Mesirah, give him the helm. Hold the helm of the boat. Hold it. Mesirah. Okay. What's the machlokes about Beimagasa? Listen to this. Everyone agrees. Both Rabbi Meir and Chachamim says the Ritva. I'm skipping a little bit. Everyone agrees. Mesirah koin b'shus harabim chotzer shneim. Ela, deloy tikun oisafil b'shus elu. The only time Mesirah was invented are only midvorim kvedim, heavy things. Shesh b'hem toirach godol. It's a lot of hard work, exertion. Lemoishchom uleviim lesimta leknoisem b'meshicha. Yosef, you heard what he said? When it comes to a regular thing, and that I can be moishech, and I can pull it all the way from the street to the simta, don't be so spoiled. Get it to the simta and do meshicha, right? Okay? Do Meshicha in the Simta and don't do Mesirah. Says who? Mesirah doesn't work. Don't be a lazy bum. Yeah, use your muscles a little bit. Take it all the way to the Simta and be going over there. Mashenkin, if you do Mesirah in the street on a big animal, it's not a boat. You can pull a big animal. It's just a cow. It's a horse. It's a donkey. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. I pull horses many times. Yeah, it's fine. It's not such a heavy thing. Yeah, pull it all the way to the Simta and do Mesirah. Meshicha and the Simta like a mensch. Don't be lazy. And therefore, Mesirah doesn't work in the street for those big animals. Say chachomim. Okay, so Rabbanan de Masnisa Efshol Moshcho Lavila Simta. Bring it to the small street. And there, do Meshicha, which is Mahadrin and Mahadrin. Yeah, the Kevin Sheken ain't Niknes Eleb Meshicha Basimta. There, Rabbi Meir. What did Rabbi Meir think? The Meir thinks no. Beime Gasa. Kevin, listen to this. Kevin Shemaleches Ladas Atzma Umesarcha. Beime Gasa, as opposed to maybe large objects, a large object which is not super large. What's the title of this shiur? Animal kinyanim. There are differences between coin and animal and coin other things. Let's say I have a large box to carry, but it's doable. I can take it in a cart, like a big cart of meat, right? The meat sale, they all take it in carts. Yeah, home. Take a cart and schlep it to the corner, to the simta. Says Rabbi Meir, I agree with you, but animals have minds of their own. He says, Meleches ladas atzma. He walks with its own mind. Umesarcha. Sometimes it's hard to pull the animal and convince it. Maybe it doesn't like the new owner. I'm not joking. The Gemara in Bava Kama says animal psychology. I'm not joking at all. Animals behave differently by different owners. You know that? Gemara Bava Kama, the Chazon Ish explains it. Sometimes the bull can be very good with one owner, very bad by the other one. Yeah. Did it ever happen to you that your kid was very good in class and then the next year there's a different teacher and the kid behaves differently? Never happens. No, it's time. I'm inventing things. Lahavdil, behemoths behave not, they have their mind of their own. Therefore, says Rabbi Meir, arei kesfina. So the animal, even if it's not super heavy, it's like the dover torach godol moshcha lavia simta. I'm not going to demand of the person to fight with a cow and bring it all the way to the simta to be pulled. Beautiful. Yeah. Therefore, says Rabbi Meir, Mesirah does work for large animals, even if they're very nice and obedient and compliant and obedient and nice. Lamaisa, in general, animals are not like other stuff, not like other objects. And therefore, what would be the halacha? According to Rabbi Meir, you may pull it where? You may pull it if you want, bevakasha, if you manage to pull it in the street, not in the street, in the simta, very good. But if you say, listen, I don't have koch to start pulling it all the way to the simta, which is half a kilometer away, right? And then what? And then be coin it in the simta. He's coin it in Yonge Street in Toronto. The longest street in North America, yeah. So he doesn't want to walk all the way to the Simta. It's like 5 kilometers, yeah. So what will he do? Because it in the street with Mesirah, right? Mashenkel Chachamim say no, don't be spoiled. Because wait until you get to the Simta and buy it over there with Meshicha. Okay. And by the way, you can do Hagbaha too if you feel like. If you really want to flex your muscles, or how can you do Hagbaha for a big animal? You can do Hagbaha a big animal by creating a ramp. Excuse me for not allowing questions yet. Now comes the third machlokes Tosfos and Rashi. Let's see the Tosfos, the last one. Chavila is moiros. I don't know if I want to look at this Tosfos inside because we only have 1 minute to go, and then I want to hear questions. The last Tosfos inami. It's the first Tosfos not Chavav Amud Aleph. Tosfos argues with Rashi. Rashi says, "What's Chavila is moiros? Create a ramp." And you're right, Ellen. I don't know if it's a shal if he tells it to walk. Molichin Ellen. You're right, Ellen. Actually, I'm corrected by Ellen. In other words, he has to really pick up the animal, the elephant, not by saying Dumbo Dumbo. You have to make it walk up the ramp, right? Otherwise, yeah, Hagbaha has to be physical with the hand. Actually, I remember that's along this year. Thank you. The Hagbaha, according to Rashi, you build a ramp and you pull the animal, which is quite easy because the animal walks up the ramp and you lead it with a leash or whatever you call it. You hold it by its tusk. I don't know. Now says Tosfos disagrees for many reasons. He says, no. What do? Basically, it says Tosfos the word chavila is moiros. It's very strange. If you want to talk about a ramp, why did Dafka mention bundles of zmoiros of branches? Says Tosfos, it says in other places that chavila is moiros, says in Shabbos are animal food, animal fodder. So basically, the animal stands. You stand in a high place, like the elephant trainer in the circus. You offer it to eat chavila is moiros, and the animal jumps. The elephant jumps and eats his moiros. Because according to Tosfos, Ellen, very nice, the longest difference with Rashi and Tosfos, Rashi believes Hagbaha means a difference in height, even without being disconnected from the ground. Tosfos holds that you have to hold the food, the animal jumps in order to get the food, like the dolphins, right? The dolphins, right? You give them fish, they jump out of the water. So the elephant would jump when you give it the chavilas moiros, and therefore that's really called a gbo. Even though you're not magbi it physically, but that Wi-Fi agbo causing it to jump is good enough because the animal's feet are off the ground. Once the animal feet are off the ground, tefach or three, that's a shaila, no problem. That's very good. It says, yes, sometimes the gbo works without me touching. When it cause something to jump up in the air, according to Tosfos, that's a good agbo. Wow, we did it, guys. So a chart will be sent today. I'll send it to everybody. You don't need to print it. Hopefully the field chart, although I do have a shaila in Rashi, I'm going to deal with it. And I'm open for questions now. Thank you. Hatzlacha uvrocha b'chol kinyanim. We will be able to be koine Torah. And next time, before you buy an elephant or a goat, speak to a competent person. Yeah. Hatzlacha uvrocha. In today's matzav, don't laugh. You never know. In the matzav of war, you don't know what you need to buy. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.